Okay, I need to start this video with a disclaimer. This is something that you should only do if you know exactly what you're doing. If you have a brand new company, which we do, we can do this maneuver that's going to clear out our chart of accounts. If you have an existing company and you wanted to start from scratch, the rule of thumb is if the company is less than 60 days old, you can do this and start from scratch. If the company is older than that, more than 60 days, then what you want to do is cancel your subscription and start a new subscription with QuickBooks, which will give you a fresh start in a new company. In this case, we have a brand new company and we are trying to do a very specific thing. We want to wipe out this crazy chart of accounts that QuickBooks has set up for us, and we want to bring in the one that we have modified and turned to our own liking. Okay, are you ready? What could possibly go wrong? So I'm going to come back to the dashboard. So I want to bring your attention to this web address that's right here. We're going to get rid of the home page part, and we are going to replace this with the words purge company. So when we tell QuickBooks to purge company, what's going to happen is it's not going to get rid of our company. It's not going to get rid of Terrance Inc. and the setup part that we did. It's going to purge the chart of accounts, and it's going to purge any transactions that are in there. That's why it's really important to do this only with professional guidance. Because if you've got a lot of transactions in there and you do this purge company thing, you're going to be really having a bad day, and you don't need that. In this case, new company, totally fine to do this. So we're going to say purge company, and then we're going to go take a look at that chart of accounts and see what's happened. It gives us one more chance. Are you sure you're going to do this? Really? If so, come down here to the bottom right-hand corner and type in yes. Exciting. It's going to ask us what type of business this is. We're going to say it's a retail business. And then the important question here, create accounts based on my industry. We want to say create an empty chart of accounts. Select only with the advice of an accountant. It's okay. I'm an accountant. Wipe data. I can't wait to see what happens next. So we're going to come back to accounting, chart of accounts. And remember, we had like 150 accounts in there. Now we only have those default accounts that QuickBooks always sets up. So we've got uncategorized assets, we've got retained earnings, billable expenses income, sales, uncategorized income, and uncategorized expense. Now, when we import our chart of accounts, it's going to tell us that we have some duplicates. Now, we know that we already have a billable expense income account set up in our modified chart of accounts. So we're going to make this inactive. Now, we also changed the name of the sales account to sales of service income. In this case, QuickBooks is not going to let us inactivate this account because it's attached to something else. It's attached to a product or service. So if we tried to do that here, make it inactive, it would give us a message saying this account cannot be deleted because it's used by a product or service. When we jump into the products and services part, we'll see which product or service this is attached to. Okay. So this leaves us with just those accounts that QuickBooks sets up automatically that we cannot make inactive. So now what we want to do is we're going to import that chart of accounts that we modified. To do that, we're going to come over to the gear icon. And here under Tools, we're going to say Import Data. Now you want to make sure that you're choosing the import data and not the import desktop data. Desktop data would be if we were coming from a QuickBooks desktop version into the online version. So we're going to say Import Data. It's going to bring us to this screen where it says, what is it that you want to bring into QuickBooks? You see, we have some really great options here, and we're going to use this feature for a number of different things to import data for our already existing company. In this case, we're going to say import chart of accounts. It's going to bring us to this screen. It's telling us a couple of good pieces of information here. You can import 249 accounts before you have to upgrade to a new subscription. So we're good because we only had 100 something. So we have a choice. We can either choose a CSV or an Excel file or a Google Sheet. Ours is an Excel file. We're going to go find that, and then we're going to come down here and click Next. The next thing QuickBooks wants us to do is to map the headings on our Excel file to the field that we want that to be in QuickBooks. And this is why we activated that account number piece before we downloaded the report, because we wanted that field to appear in our spreadsheet. And because we downloaded it directly from QuickBooks, we already have our headings. Now, if we had left those, the top headers in our report, that's what QuickBooks would be looking at in the Your Field piece. But because we got rid of those, now we have a very clean report, and it's going to tie out completely perfectly here in our mapping piece. So in QuickBooks, the name of the field is detail type. In our report, the name is detail type. Account name is account number is account number, and type is type, because we left those all the same. So then we're going to click Next. So these are all of the accounts that are going to be pulled into QuickBooks. We can at this point make changes still. If we wanted to change our cash account name, for example, we could do that. At this point, I want to leave everything as it is, because I'm going to show you how to modify and edit accounts, make them inactive once we pull all of these things in. So we're just going to say import. And then QuickBooks will tell us if we have a problem. So what's happened now is QuickBooks has brought in 98 of our 108 accounts. So let's just take a look at any that are red and see what we can do here. The 4 that are at the top, we're not going to do anything with because those are already in QuickBooks. Now, when we changed our other expenses for our vehicle expenses to regular expenses, it messed up the detail type. So let's just change all of these to auto. And then we'll try to import those again and see if that, oh, well, there we go. So 4 accounts did not import because they were already set up in QuickBooks. So we have imported our chart of accounts now. So we're going to go back to the left nav bar to accounting and to chart of accounts. And magically, we can see all of our accounts came through and we have our numbering scheme applied as well. So in the next video, we're going to continue to refine our chart of accounts. But at this point, what we have is a pretty darn good chart of accounts that it's gotten a lot of that extra stuff out of there. So I'll see you in the next video.